A candle is a sermon in itself, self-sacrifice. It consumes its own life, giving off light and heat, and we are asked to do the same. My friends, we think we have a lot of time to do it with, but I've got news for you. We haven't. Once the last breath has been taken, we see actually how things stand. And as the American said, you're a long time dead. All eternity then awaits us with what we've burned. The wax is rather like our innings, our soul almost, our life breath. It's a way of counting time. Before clocks were made, it was used. Another was a water clock, another a sand clock, a clepsydra. Grain by grain, day by day, but each one irreversible. However, it's well, especially on the day of the Lord, especially actually on a feast like this, when we have that beautiful prayer which we religious have at the end of every day, Nunc dimittis, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, reflect on precisely what is running out, and should this be my last day, what would be the score? The ingredients. We have a choice. The Lord actually did streamline things somewhat in insisting on one thing only in the last discourse, the new commandment. All the rest is in function of that. And if all the rest is more important than that, we haven't got it right. We have a choice, my friends. Here's the first model. This applies to also the little people which are never lacking in the Latin Mass. Observe. His name is Puff, and wherever he goes, he's a thorough nuisance. On the road, beeping, tail flashing, in a hurry, swearing when things aren't right at the wheel. He is not a happy specimen and will not allow other ones to be in peace around him. He is deeply frustrated and everyone is his enemy. He has an issue. Now he is the produce of this. The ailment of modern man. I quote here something from a person who was miles away from the faith, but was given grace about 3 years before she died, young. This happened at San Giovanni Rotondo. I quote a little bit of a conversation. Her name is Martina. She noticed in the retreat at San Giovanni Rotondo that somehow in the air there was an atmosphere which was different from what was out there in the world. People queued patiently. People somehow knew each other without knowing each other. There was a mystic bonding there which she picked up coming from wherever she was coming. And she comments, more and more people, especially young people, are isolating themselves from their family and community. the Christian community means, what it can create and generate, we have experienced in the last 3 days. I feel such a great inner wealth. How many people feel only an inner emptiness? Now, that inner emptiness can be clouded out, blocked out, precisely by this. But there is a deep, deep emptiness in the heart of those who can't face themselves in silence and have to resort to that and all that goes with it. Hyping up the senses and being more and more empty in the process. It's not what we're made for, and we can't be happy with it. And it creates also dysfunctionality in relationship. Notice, the burnout syndrome, this young girl says, is becoming the new disease of civilization. And we have done it, by the way. We are all the time, if we're into that at all, dependent on being up to date with the last message, the last WhatsApp. It's all energy being drained from the soul that wasn't meant for that. Too thinly spread. Bleep. I must obey the bleep. People are burnt out by work-related rage, agitation, suffering, bullying. There's cyberbullying, which can lead even to suicide, even in young people, even in school children. Aimlessness and frustration. The egotistical, elbowing society produces hard brutality, loss of orientation, and unhappy people. I say, he who has no inner support, who has not found his inner peace, may sooner or later also fall in the outer world. Now this is the response of the person who's writing here, who's a professional man, and he goes on to indicate that people are not functioning either professionally, because all the inside is not at peace. Work in grace, in the presence of God, and all the accidents of the day are relative, not center stage. That gives you then the other model. The person who has realized what actually we're here for and what matters in the 24 hours. Because when it comes to the nunc dimittis of the soul, at last, all-powerful Master, you give leave to your servant to go in peace, according to your promise, then we will have left behind what? That bad memories, bad fumes, unhappy moments that we've shared generously with others, or this other model, which I share with the little people. Watch. His name is Oodles. Now Oodles has his heart on his hand. He is wearing his love and sharing it. His eyes beam healing. He says, I love you. And he says it with all his being, which even the animal kingdom understands perfectly well. A dog will lick you to bits if he loves you. And we can't quite manage it. Why? Deep down, we're not in peace. So we felt the end of the day, my friends, the end of the day of our life, the last flicker of our wick. Ask yourself, in my short innings, what will I have left? Fumes like puff, or oodles made of simple things for which I was created. For I came from love, and to love I must return.